Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Last week I predicted US dollar crash or collapse, which played out in last week's video. You can go and watch it, or maybe I'll just tag it here so that you see. I predicted that price was going to fall from this zone, and this is a zone to watch out for. All right, and of course in the Telegram channel I gave the heads up when price came here that it's time to pause or break even or close partials. All right, so that you avoid getting stopped out. All right, so my overall target was here initially, and then maybe here, then maybe we will turn back up from there and continue the overall what bullish trend. All right, but that didn't happen. As a matter of fact, we did come into that my first level area, and price started ranging from there. Price moved sideways all week. All right, and many impatient traders maybe made profit and ended up giving it back. All right, me myself, I made only 3 trades last week. I made a GBP trade, then the gold. I traded gold. Then I closed last week with the oil. All right. I even shared that signal in the Telegram channel. All right. So we hit take profit on that one amazing trade. For this week, I'm still expecting a temporary collapse of USD. I trade the majors mostly, so I'm still expecting it to fall. But for the beginning of next week, I expect to see a strong um dollar. Then maybe towards the end of the week, maybe from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we should see a decline in dollar. I'm going to tell you why. All right, now as you can see, this is the dollar index, which measures the strength or weakness of the US dollar, and we've broken below this is the daily time frame. By the way, we've broken below this trend line, and like I was telling you last week, I want to go into a little bit of details today because most of the Telegram members requested that. So I want to tell you why I always or why I am certain that price is going to go in a certain way. All right, now I'm just going to zoom in. Then we are just going to look between this zone to this zone. All right, there's no doubt dollar is in an overall what uptrend. All right, so me calling it short doesn't mean I expect it to collapse all the way to the downside. No. All right, we are just trying to catch a reversal then before we continue what the bullish trend. As traders, we make money whether prices go up or down. All right, and as experienced traders, we are supposed to possess the ability to do or navigate through both situations. All right, now how do I know that dollar is still going to fall at least for a bit before we continue the bullish trend? If that happens, if you look between this zone, let's look between this zone. Let's look between this zone to this zone. All right, just follow my mouse between this zone to this zone. If we count the number of bullish candlesticks, there are way more than the numbers of bearish candlesticks. Now, bullish candlesticks are in green, while the bearish candlesticks are in red. All right, so you can easily see the numbers of bullish candlesticks. They are way more than the numbers of the bearish candlesticks, and you can see the size of the bullish candlesticks. They are larger, way larger than what the red candlesticks. All right, many of them are way larger than the red candlesticks. All right, now until we came into this zone. Now when we came into this zone, we printed a weekly. This is the weekly time frame, by the way. We printed this red candle, then 2 green candles, and then we started printing larger red candles. We printed a larger red candle here. It was actually a bearish engulfing candle. All right, then we printed another one that is at least bigger than these two, right? Then we created a small bodied bullish candle colored a bull like green colored candle, which is a bullish candlestick, by the way. And then what happened last 2 weeks, we had a solid full bodied what bearish what candlestick, weekly candlestick, right? Now then for last week, if price actually wanted to continue the uptrend, I would have expected a statement move from the US dollar. All right, yes, we did close with a dodgy. This is a dodgy candle, by the way, and dodges represents indecision in the market. If it happens at a level of support, then it could mean that sellers are losing steam and buyers are about to jump into the market, right? And if this happens at a level of resistance, it could signify that buyers are losing steam and sellers are willing to do a jump into the market. But when this happens in the middle of nowhere like it has done now, as a matter of fact, it happened in form of a retest after the break below of this trend line. It happened in form of a retest, and this is happening in the middle of nowhere. Now let's even put this here. Now let's put this line here. Now, why did I put this line here? I'm putting this line here because price was coming all the way from the upside, got to this point and fell down into this zone before it continued moving upward, right? On its way up, that was what happened, right? So that is why I'm putting that line there. And now, last 2 weeks candle came and closed below it, breaking below it and breaking below this trend line, right? And now last week gave us some kind of sideways movement in form of consolidation. Many people lost money because they are not patient. They always want to be in a trade. That's what newbies do. And I don't know why they do that. I mean, why would you know there is uncertainty in the market and still jump into it? Well, I don't want to go into all of that because I'm going to talk something like that within the week, because henceforth I'll be making two videos per week at least for a start. Weekends like this we'll talk about the charts, while midweek I'm going to build on some struggling traders mentality to make you see trading the way you are supposed to see it. All right, so I wonder why they were trading, because it was obvious that the market was indecisive. Right now we are printing a doji, or we've printed a doji on last week. If we're supposed to buy, we're supposed to see some kind of momentum to the upside. Now, but with this doji, which signifies indecision, we could also start seeing maybe some bullish move to the upside, which is very possible. Or due to the size of these candlesticks from last week or from last 2 weeks, we might come back next week and continue what falling to the downside. All right, at this stage anything can happen, but I'm not interested in buying, right? So which means if I say I'm not interested in buying the dollar index, which means I'm not interested in trading in favor of the USD. All right, I'll just wait for everything to play out, then I'll look for reversals, then I'll catch the reversals. Well, we'll get into all of that in a bit. Now, I'm trying to explain why I still think the US dollar is still weak. All right, so let's go back to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, it looks like we are still testing this broken trend line. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at more recent price action. All right, now I'm seeing something that looks like a head and shoulders pattern, or an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So when you see an inverse head and shoulders pattern, it means price wants to what? Keep pushing higher. All right. Now, if price wants to keep pushing higher, which I'm not interested to join at the moment, because all I'm looking for, I want price to come and break below here so that I keep selling. All right. Even if we do push higher, why it's good to have that kind of mindset is because even if we do keep pushing higher, okay, fine and good, I'm not making money, but at the same time I'm not losing money. All right, but if we collapse, that's me looking at only one possibility. I'm looking for a specific outcome to do a jump on the trade. All right, so if I want to sell, then I would like to, if price keeps pushing higher, I would like to see what price does at this counter trend line, at this level here. This trend line has been tested twice before, so I would like to see what price does when we come here. Are we going to break below to keep selling, which I would gladly jump into, or are we going to breach the trend line and keep pushing higher, which I will also gladly jump into? All right, but for now all I'm interested in seeing is for price to break below this trend line, and so that we keep pushing to the downside, or come into this trend line to sell, or break above it, then I'll start looking for buying opportunities, which means I'll be trading in favor of the US dollar on the US dollar pairs. All right, now we've spent too much time on the dollar index. Let's go look at some tradable charts so that we look for trading opportunities for next week. All right, this is the euro dollar. All right, let's start from the daily time frame, or let's start from the weekly time frame. Now, last week I captured this zone, and I was expecting price to come into it for the third touch, all right, to see if we are going to reject or break above, right? As a matter of fact, we closed last week bearish, all right, a kind something like a dodgy candlestick, just like what happened on the dollar index, right? Now let's go to the daily time frame. Let's look at more recent price action. On the daily time frame, it's pretty obvious that we've been moving sideways 1 2 3 4 5. So we only popped up just like I predicted last week that price was going to go up into that trend line. Well, I made money from this zone to this zone before we started collapsing back to the downside. And based on market structure, I've talked about market structure enough on this channel, right? Market structure, in a bullish trend, we're supposed to be making higher highs and higher lows, right? And in a bearish trend, we create lower highs and lower lows. Now, if price actually wants to reverse from this place, where do you think price is going to come back into? Here, of course, obviously, price will be targeting these areas, all right? This is the area price will actually be targeting. So let's say price wants to keep falling from this place here, this area here, then this is a possible area to look out for what? Buying opportunities. Something similar to what happened when price was falling, all right? We broke below here, went back to retest it, right? Then we broke below it, went back to retest it. Now we broke below here again. Then we went back to retest it. Then we broke below, went back, broke below again, then went back to retest, right? And now we've been creating series of what? Higher high. Remember, this is the daily time frame, so this is a big deal. This is a low, this is a higher low, right? And we're also creating higher high because this high is higher than this, and this has broken above this switch. Such a huge momentum. So it's normal, we can't keep pushing upward like that. Prices doesn't move in a straight line, all right? So if price is supposed to reverse, then I'll be expecting price to come into this zone. We can also measure this properly using our Fibonacci retracement level from the recent swing low, in a bullish trend from the recent swing low to the recent swing high, right? Then if this happens, we'll be looking for possible reversal at the 0.5 and at the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, all right? So does that mean I'm just going to go and hit the sell button? You know me, I don't like selling in a buying market or buying in a selling market. Even if I want to sell, it's going to be a scalp, and I have to be very, very sure of what I am doing before I pull the trigger. So that being said, let's go to 4 hours. Let's look at more recent price action. This is that zone that I mapped out from the daily time frame. All right, you know there were 2 lines, but I just brought only one forward here. All right, so now there's every possibility, looking from the daily time frame, that dollar might fall into this level. All right, so dollar might fall into this level, but while I have plotted my zone on the daily time frame, I'm also going to plot a zone on the 4-hour time frame, because these zones keeps us in check. All right, you don't get carried away. You know where you should be securing your profits, you know where you should be breaking even. It helps with all your trading decisions. So I'm going to be drawing these Fibonacci retracement levels. You are looking for areas of confluences with your Fibonacci retracement levels. So I'll be looking at this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level on the hourly time frame. All right, let's go to the 1-hour time frame. I want to show you something interesting for those of you that want to sell. So for those that may want to sell, this is the 2 hours time frame, by the way. All right, and this was the zone I drew from the daily time frame, while this is the one I drew on the 4-hour time frame. All right, you need to map out all these zones. I'm mapping them out so that you see, but mostly I don't like messy charts, so I just have them at the back of my mind. All right, but for the purpose of this video, let me put them there so that you see. Well, this is the 2-hour time frame. So for those that are interested in selling, I might also join the sell, but I will tell you when I will join the sell and why I will join the sell. Meanwhile, I'm seeing a head and shoulders pattern here. This is the left shoulder, the neckline, then this is the head, these two areas. This is just the head back to the neckline, then this is the right shoulder back to the neckline. Now, because to me, for now, we are in at least some kind of an uptrend, at least until we come into this trend line. All right. Now, what I want to do is, even if I must sell this, then to catch a buy maybe later. I mean, we should even have some kind of a trend line. Let's see. Let me see if we can add confluence. We have a trend line. Because we have to do this investigative analysis. All right. You don't want to be stopped out and be wondering why you got stopped out. So you see this roadblock here now. This is my challenge. This is why selling is dangerous for me. Yes, we might sell and we might come into this zone, but I like to only trade what I think is certain to move in my direction. Now, this is the challenge I am having. Now, this trend line is a roadblock, is a stumbling block for me. It's a stumbling block for me. So maybe I might just leave this, but for those that wants to sell, you know, I don't like seeing traders lose money. Since we are in some kind of an uptrend, like I said before, we come into this trend line, which can identify when I was on the weekly time frame on euro dollar. All right. So since for now it looks like we are in a mini uptrend, I will like to see price break below, then give a retest before we collapse into this zone or this zone or this zone. All right. Then let me use this zone. All right. But because of this trend line, I'm not interested in selling. If this trend line was not here, then maybe I would have also joined the sell if I see the retest. All right. So I'm just doing this for those that might not want to be patient enough. So at least if you must sell, wait for a retest. Why? I know price doesn't always retest. All right. And this is why I always wait for a retest. This is a secret I want to tell you guys now. Let's say we're in a trend, like an uptrend or a downtrend. All right. Let's say I know we are in a trend and maybe there was a pause below the break, before the break of your resistance. All right, just like we experienced here, there was a pause here. Right now, if we're in a trend, after this kind of breakout, I can, and after this kind of breakout and a candle close, I can buy and put my stop loss below here. Why? Because I know that we're in an established trend. Now, I'm not going to consider this mini uptrend we are having a trending market yet. No, it's too early to call this a trending market. All right, just between this zone and this zone. No. I can't call this an uptrend yet. We are still in an overall downtrend. All right, but on the bigger picture, using market structure, I'm expecting price to come into this trend line before I start thinking, okay, are we going to sell? But if we break above, then best believe, to me, we are now in an uptrend, at least for the time being. But back to the matter, prices doesn't always come back to retest. But when we are in an established trend, whether uptrend or downtrend, once there is a breakout of a mini support or resistance, depending on the nature of the market, I will buy or sell immediately. All right, I don't necessarily need to wait for a retest, and in most cases I end up winning most of those trades. But when price is just trying to look like it's changing from a downtrend to an uptrend or an uptrend to a downtrend, even if I see a clear chance to trade, I always want extra confirmation for peace of mind. That means I would like to see a kind of a break and a retest, then a bullish engulfing candle or a bearish engulfing candle, depending on the direction we are looking to trade in. So I would like to see that before I will know that, okay, even if I enter this trade and I get stopped out, I won't be mad at myself. I know I did everything right. All right. I know I'm at peace because I know I did everything right. All right. So, and that's the best way to trade. You don't want to be second guessing yourself. You don't want to be making nasty mistakes that you get to beat yourself over. And when you start doing this, you keep losing, you want to start revenge trading, and before you know what is happening, you are sinking until you are completely underwater. All right, and you don't want that. All right, so this video is getting too lengthy already. I just wanted you to pick one or two things from what I'm trying to talk about today. That was why I dived so deep into the video, but I've not been myself to from middle of last week towards the end. I've been, not like I'm sick though, but I've been having lots of things on my plate that I need to take care of, lots of commitments and all of that. So please bear with me that I'm not flowing properly. I've not this, as at the time of recording this video, this is 6 a.m. Nigerian time. Let me even show you, so if in case you think I'm playing, this is 5:55 a.m. all right, on Sunday Nigerian time. I've not slept since yesterday. All right, I've been awake, I've been on this system all night long, or is it all morning long? What do I say? But I've been awake, I've been doing something else, been in one meeting or the other. So stay hungry, stay focused, and I wish you a successful trading week ahead. I didn't I didn't talk on much charts today because, like I told you, I'm not really myself. I'm feeling sleepy already, so I'm going to maybe make another video within the week, or I'm going to drop some chart analysis when I feel fresh later or shortly before market open. So this, we've come to an end of this video. It's lengthy, I know, and it's not as lively as I used to be on the other videos, but please bear with me. Next week we'll come back stronger and better and fresher. And by the way, our course is out. Watch out for the announcements in the Telegram channel. All right, and if you are interested in joining the Telegram group, the link is going to be down below. All right, so once again, wish you a successful trading week, and bye.